just finished this a few weeks ago, so it's kind of nice. We're not all on top of each other. We've all got our own room. You're gonna find Bill and Curtis are down this hallway. Service, accounting is gonna be down that way. Myself, Jeremiah, Coley, Ryan, Debbie, Scout, more sales and marketing will be over on this side. So not sure what we're gonna do up top. I mean, we have a lot of room there. I'm sure we'll grow into it. We're getting there, as you guys know, but awesome conference room over here. We've got the Alliance Delta signs everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah, Coley did a really good job on laying this out. We were just talking about the LED lights outside too on the blue part of the building. Those all change colors, so that's fun in the seasons. But usually it's Alliance blue.
So I usually like to kind of direct out the other door, just for the reason that we go into our PDI center and tell you what we do there, and then I can take you guys outside and walk you along the outside of our factory, which shows our new facility being built. And then I start you guys right at the beginning of the chassis process and take you all the way through every station. So just so you guys know, you have to be aware what's on the ground, because it is basically moving construction inside there. There should be nothing above your head you're worried about. We have cranes that connect everything, but we'll show you guys everything from the beginning to end. Training is typically, or a factory tour is typically 45 minutes to an hour, depends on you guys and how many questions you have. Particular models if you guys want to see, and then typically we run along some famous celebrities like Brad Pitt. Well, I meant Ben, our product manager.
Yeah, we'll meet Ben Pitt.
Ben Pitt. Yeah. So we'll do that. So like the facility we've been in here has only been here about 3 weeks. We've been inside here. We'll show you where everybody was sharing offices, even temporary me. We had 3 to 4 per office out there, so it got real cozy for a while. And then
were you building the units here before you moved your office?
We started production here in, I want to say it was the 2nd or 3rd week of January. Yeah, so our first 35, 40 units were bay built in our lamination facility.
And we'll show you guys that as we go outside this side, show you the new facility. When we end our tour, we'll actually come right out there and show you directly across to plant number 1 and how this all came to be when they purchased the land and it coming all throughout here. So the offices are all new. So right now we're at the bottom floor. What you see at top floor S2 is completely empty but all finished. There's not furniture right now. Over time, we will probably eventually move up there and more offices down here, so we'll have both. So I imagine our presidents, Coley and Ryan, will be up there, and then me and Ab will still
You just in this little office here?
Yeah.
Well, let's start by going up, because I think it gives you a great overview shot of our campus and kind of what our plans are down the road. So after you
head
guys,
right up the stairs in case you can. Just
stairs.
Hello, hello. Hey, how's it going?
So just a new, brand new, like I said, brand new facilities too. And matter of fact, if you look over here against this window, it's actually a great view of it. That kind of off-white building you guys see over there, with all the aluminum trusses.
We started back there.
That was plant 1. So when that land became available, as you can tell, there's other factories available. They knew that behind plant 1, they could purchase all this land. So we have 150 acres?
120, not including that.
Okay,
Yeah.
So 120 acres back this way, inside here. So we know that we start there. Eventually we'd be building this building, build a few units there. We built the little road, so every day when we build our walls, we can transport them over here. So they're covered, just transported, not sitting in here with all the dust. Manufacturing facility, bring over what walls we need for each day. So actually saves us some space. We will have to build another lamination facility. And as we head to that side, you guys will see what the additional 120 acres is going to look like. We know, our president knows that over time when you have multiple buildings, it's hard to keep touch of every single one. For example, he was the president of Heartland out there, and he had plants, some of them 10, 20, 15 miles away, and he wouldn't be able to visit them as much as he would like to. So the idea was here to have all of our premises. So right now you'll see farmland. I don't think the next year we'll probably lease it to the farmers out there. I'll probably be building plant 3 or even the year after that.
It's a huge, huge advantage to have all of our buildings on one unified campus. Right?
Absolutely.
You know, and we are, I would call it beachfront when it pertains to being surrounded by, our biggest suppliers in the industry as well. So geographically, we're very fortunate where we're located here. Again, as Max said, we'll go to the other side of the building and you'll kind of get a snapshot, an overview of what our 3, 4, 5 year game plan is. It's pretty exciting. But yeah, I remember I was sitting on a leather couch for about 30 days there. I think I lost about 2 inches in my height. I mean, I couldn't even work on that whole thing, but it was awesome. It was great being together. There was a lot of collective decisions made, and it's fun when you can, you guys working together in one spot. We really learned a lot from each other over there. It's pretty cool to see how fast we're growing, right?
So this is our bad guy closet. If you become the bad guy, we put you in there.
Yeah.
Make sure that we can see you.
Oh my gosh.
So you can't come out. We gotta see you in there.
That's awesome.
Our corporate conference room will be here. Again, then a visual display of customers coming in, being able to talk to our customers, some of our team.
Max's office potentially. We're working on.
Oh, good. That's a good spot for it right
Big
there.
ladders.
I got more windows than anybody does.
That's right, man.
It's a rock climbing wall to get up there.
Exactly.
Make it fun.
I'm thinking ferns. I have no idea.
A Christmas tree. I don't know.
I couldn't imagine. That'd be a little. That'd be scary, wouldn't it?
When they go to the floor.
Well, so how about this view? This is what we're excited to show you.
So this building is still a building in works.
Oh, you're gonna walk into a full production facility right behind
But
us.
I mean, this floor is still being
Well, it's just,
constructed more or less.
It's basically done. All we do is put furniture in here.
Correct.
We just don't have enough
they
employees.
just don't.
Yeah, we're still. I think over the next 6 months we'll be bringing a lot of additional employees on board, sales, service, accounting, things.
So you guys probably haven't been able to realize yet, but this building goes a long ways down. I think we're about 110,000 square feet here, right around that
Correct.
space. And we're basically duplicating. As you can see, our next campus will be right here too. So we've obviously, when I was back in July, we were just breaking ground. Now concrete's being poured, so we're gonna basically start building up the walls. They believe in February we should be up and ready to go in that area. And so as you can see, as far as all the way down that road is, that's all of our space, and we also own to the road over to that way. So we have the opportunity to grow everything here on campus and not have to be segregated from any of our staff. We want to see it, boom, it's just a quick walk or maybe a golf cart drive right to it, be able to handle our concerns, our questions, or see with our own eyes. You know, you want to get out of your desk and just go over there and see what it is, really easy for us to do.
So that's our second facility. If you can envision, you know, that's going to be 120,000
It's our
square
second
feet.
new facility, it's our third facility.
Excuse me, our second new facility.
facility, yeah.
Yes, I keep forgetting that one's so small. And then we'll build another building behind that. Over here to our left is where I think we're contemplating on putting our lamination facility, which I think we're shooting for another 120,000 square feet in that building. And we might break ground on that in the next 30 or 45 days. So yeah, we're moving right along.
What is the game site? You're gonna build certain rigs there?
Yes.
You're gonna build like the walls here and move them over to here?
That'll be a completely new product segment. So currently in Plant 1, we're building the Paradigm fifth wheels and the Valor toy haulers. In Plant 2, we're going to be unveiling a new mid-profile fifth wheel and travel trailer.
Okay.
I anticipate that probably early Q1, maybe late February, March. But that is the game plan for that facility. I think we get Valor out of here into another facility at some point.
A little bit up in the air of
Yeah.
exactly what's going to go inside there. We know we need space. We didn't expect the production rate and the amount of products being built per day this far advanced, this far along. So you never know. This might just be just a straight Paradigm plant, and as many as we could build, and then build toy haulers there, and maybe our mid profiles. And as things are growing up, we're having to adapt to it, you know, adapt and change. But we're building it to be state of the art, just like what you guys see here. So what you guys see out here, I'm not sure if anybody's ever had a factory tour through RVs before. It's usually pretty rough, right? I mean, it feels like sometimes I think somebody said, it's like Chernobyl went off inside there. That's not the case for us. So you guys will see a completely different process. We're gonna head down these stairs and then we're just gonna pop right out the door into our PDI facility, show you kind of what happens there.
So
Now,
what was the goal, or what did they envision, how many units in their first year would they
The burgers
produce?
on PDI.
Do you know how many units we were envisioning for the Paradigm the first year?
We wanted to hit around 1,000 units.
You're gonna hit
I think we're going to exceed that, and that is obviously with COVID,
Yeah.
so that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so we missed, about 2 months of production with COVID, and then I know that our backlog is obviously bigger than that. We believe we're about 40% ahead of where we wanted to be.
Sure.
That's not fair.
It does. I would also say that, you know, we're letting two things dictate, you know, how fast we grow it. One, obviously our quality. We're not going to increase rates unless the quality maintains. And then secondly, obviously the market. We're gonna let the market dictate what we build and how much we build. By no means are we ever going to try to be a mass producer of these RVs. It's quality first, right? So we're gonna take our time, we're gonna get these units right. If we can do that and slowly grow, increase our rates, then we'll do that. But if we can't get quality right and we're stuck at 11, then we're stuck at 11. 370 was our first floor plan we introduced. That's an outstanding front bath floor plan. The 310 nationally is probably the #1 seller in this segment. It's under 35 feet. It checks a lot of the boxes for full timers, especially in length and weight. So I would venture to say that's probably been the top performer, but they're all doing so great. We're not going to ever have 12, 14, 15 floor plans. We're going to have,
No, I just
you know,
wonder if you had a feel for which one
Sure.
really seems to be hitting the
All of
market the
them.
What's
best.
funny, 'cause I don't, you know, I think a lot of people's view of our 372 RK, the rear kitchen, has very recently changed their mind on what they were going to do.
right, I
So we're going to sit right here for just a few minutes, guys, and then eventually we're going to walk out there. I know it looks like the weather may not be the perfect. We're just basically walking down the end of the factory and then starting our chassis department. But the reason why we brought you guys in here is this is the end of our facility. So once our trailer's built, right, we do it different than most manufacturers. It's built on the other side of that wall. They're complete on the other side of the wall. So every other manufacturer in the industry builds that RV, and they call it, after that we go through an additional PDI process or a second PDI process. And what happens is they build that RV and they get some PDI and QC process when they're building it. And then they just turn it right around the corner and bring it right in here. So most manufacturers do. And then again, do things like water tests, 8-ounce gas tests, check for QC stuff. Well, the problem is, let's say for example that maybe the gas test passed over there and the connectors are just barely on in there. Well, we're just turning the corner inside here. The 8-ounce gas test is still gonna pass. So what we do is we run them in to finish them completely out there, and then they get hooked up with one of our trucks, get driven on about a 20 to 30 minute drive, 20 to 30 miles around this area, bounced around, and then come back here, and then they run through this full process where they get water, PDI, QC test. So anything that could have shook loose, fell off, came disconnected, is actually should have been already done. I know it's not a 4,000 mile test. People typically don't want a 4,000 mile test in a brand new RV, but at least we're doing something different than everybody else. And then we bring it inside here and it runs through our QC process. Fill up the water tanks, make sure everything operates. Each coach is individually weighed, as you can see. Here's our scales right inside here. And then they go typically, at that point, once they're approved to go, they'll get put out here and get ready for transport. Obviously, as you guys have heard a little bit about the parts in the industry right now, a couple of parts missing. So we have kind of some units scattered around waiting for a few extra things. Okay, and then our parts department comes out of this area also. So she's preparing all the parts inside here. Sometimes she can unit load it to a dealer, ship it UPS, whatever it may be.
Right. Yeah, for me, this is probably the most important stage, right? Because this is a stage where we're seeing a lot of OEMs not incorporate. You know, as Max said, you know, these RVs are getting pushed down the line on rollers. Those tires aren't even making a full turn. So that 15, 20 minute shakedown drive, that's critical. That's important. That's when we find things happening. You know, in addition to the white glove inspection, where we're checking virtually 300 spots. You know, QC isn't enough in my opinion, you know, and you know, I never got to check my own homework after I did it. So this is an independent facility, and we're asking them to do that. You know, we want them to check that work, triple check it, make sure it's right before we put it on the road. So we're pretty proud that we can do that, and obviously because of our size, that's an advantage for us.
So we're gonna head out here, guys, a nice little breeze, and then we're gonna head all the way down. That way you don't have to walk through the factory to start with, and we'll start in our beginning chassis department. So I'll yell, so everybody can kind of hear me or whatever it may be. So just to let you guys know, we design our own chassis, Lippert builds it for us. So I don't know if you guys know that. So what happens is you can see outside here, they get stacked, right? So Lippert builds them for us and they transport them over here to us. So we tell them a couple of cool things that other manufacturers don't do. Number one, we try to use the strongest chassis in the industry. So what you guys are looking at right here is structural I-beams. So I don't know if you guys know this, but in the RV industry, there's 4 types of chassis being made. There's box steel, C-channel, junior I-beam, and structural I-beam. That's in order from weakest to strongest. So the strongest chassis you can use is a structural I-beam chassis. It's the only chassis that we use. Okay, so we tell them, hey guys, strongest chassis in the industry right here. And they build it for us too. Now, as you know, because they stack in the toe all around, they're basically built just like this. They come in pretty close to what you see right here. Obviously, they added some water tanks inside here. At this point, we're gonna start to add things like axles, like you guys see behind you. Now, if you guys have heard much about this right here, we use a 7,000 pound axle with 8,000 pounds of axle springs inside here. Now, we know that it's important to have easy use for our employees in here, so they're not hurting themselves and they want to do the right job. So what we use right here is called a chassis flip machine. Our chassis are pulled in, they're connected to that little hoist over inside here, the chassis flip machine. And why do we use it? Well, we're about to assemble these axles on here, put them on attached to your trailer right here. Well, a lot of manufacturers just lift the chassis up, put the wheels on there, the axles there, and then drop it down and screw it together. But we know that those guys are up underneath it, it hurts their backs. And what happens when something wants to hurt your back? You want to get it out of that position. So they cut themselves short. So what we use is a chassis flip machine. They connect it right in here, it flips the chassis over, so it doesn't, so they're always standing upright. They use this crane, as you see right here. They pick up the axles and they set them on there perfectly square, and they square up the coach. And then they bolt them on inside here. It's a nice little feature. It seems weird, but hey, why not use a crane? Because in the RV industry, some of you guys have had a factory tour before. You see the guys carrying, right? 6 or 7 guys carrying a bunch of walls. They're supposed to carry the walls. They try to carry 2 or 3 at a time, and then they drop them. I'll show you how we kind of crane everything around here. So we go ahead and right off the bat, we start that tomorrow morning. This will be flipped over. They're going to go ahead and put the axles on here. Like I said, 7,000 pound axles with 8,000 pounds of leaf springs inside here. And then we'll start to put things like Darko underbelly inside here to protect the bottom of our tanks inside here. We're starting to install our water tanks, insulation, wiring, suspension systems. You'll see in about just 1 minute when we get over there how much more the chassis has been added to it. Water tanks, insulation, axles, brakes, tires, Zerk fittings, all that stuff inside here, including wiring. So it starts with a real raw process for us. It starts to move pretty fast. Right now we're building about 9 a day. A gentleman had a question on how many basically it takes to finish. It takes about a day and a half to finish an RV, correct? About a day and a half to finish an RV inside here. So really raw process right inside here, but we start with the best foundation in the industry, which is a structural I-beam frame. And we make sure that it's always going to be squared up and never crooked out there for the customer, because the guy wants to do a job real fast because it hurts him. Because as you know, you don't want to get up and work all day long. You guys seen him over at the factory over there trying to help out, right? Some guys laying on the ground. So we use a lot of cranes throughout here. Does anybody have any questions in this area? Always feel free to ask us. Abby, everything you want to add?
Nailed it. I think you're spot on. Obviously, one thing I'll point out over here is when it pertains to our holding tanks, it looks like they had started already, but we're using steel straps to make sure these tanks are going to stay in the chassis, right? So I haven't seen anybody do that yet. Sounds crazy, but it happens. These tanks fall out during transit. Some of you may have heard of that happening. So we're just really ensuring that the chances of that happening are very slim.
You got it underneath too, right?
We do, yeah, top and bottom.
Was this the first water tank?
It is. You're 106 on the gray, 53 on the black, and 98 on your fresh. We're not including the 12-gallon water heat, 110 basically on your fresh. So, yeah. A lot of water there. And when, you know, one thing we did mention is when we're doing the performance audit tests and we're taking these for a 15-20 minute shakedown, all these tanks are full.
Yeah,
they're all full.
Full tanks, make sure.
So,
Okay guys, we're going to just come up with this next chassis over here. Point out a couple of cool things. So as you guys may or may not notice, our factory, we put our chassis up on these caster wheels inside here. So some manufacturers will run their facility kind of long ways and train it throughout the facility. Well, the problem is the floors, right? What happens, these guys are construction all day long, and those wheels, those tires, they get abuse on them, they get nails inside of them, and then they have to repair them and fix them to you guys. So by doing this, it allows that there's never any damage to your axles or wheels inside here. So it's on these caster wheels. And like we said right here, we start with the strongest chassis in the industry. You guys have probably seen our 100 customer driven features inside there. So it says on the front of that cover, obsessed with the best customer ownership experience. So what does that mean? It means build a trailer, stronger than anybody else. It's things with less features, more than customers knows. For example, one of the biggest issues that happens on the outside of a fifth wheel or a trailer, biggest thing happens to a customer is issues with the tires. And sometimes it's not just tires. There's many other things you can do, right? This is a pretty long cut chassis inside here. There's a lot of deflection when our forklifts turn sideways. The dealership's forklifts turn sideways. When you park it in your house, you try to get in the gas station, you put a lot of deflection on those wheels. Well, even though it's the strongest chassis inside here, there's a little bit of flex sometimes in those areas, and that area can flex your wheel and make your wheel wear a little bit different, your tire. So we know right off the bat, we start with the strongest chassis, and then we added 2S paints of box steel up underneath here. So it strengthens our chassis inside here, so there's never any flex. Pretty good thing, right? And then right after that, these shackles, every single RV in the industry has these shackles. Everybody has to have them no matter what. This is how you connect your leaf spring components inside here. Well, those bend quite a bit in the RV industry. Most of the time from the customers. They're just pulling into a gas station, jackknifing into the side of their house, puts a lot of pressure, all these wheels, weight turning, and it wants to flex inside here and it bends them. And you cannot see it with the naked eye. The only way you know it's bent is first your wheels start wearing a little bit different. Then after buying a few of the wheels out there, you guys go and have a professional square it up and he finds out they're bent. So usually they can do two things. They can go ahead and cut it off and put a new one on there and reattach it. Or most of the times they do is they heat it up, they bend it back straight, and then they put a gusset inside there. So our process is, why don't you build it with the strongest chassis in the industry, and if sometimes there is some flex, put a box steel up underneath it so the chassis doesn't bend. And then after that, so that's the next biggest thing, why not just build it with the fix built in it? The fix built in it is gusseting it, so they'll never bend inside here. No other manufacturer does it. After that, the next thing that happens is leaf springs flatten out. People say different things on their leaf, they flatten out, and let's face it, some RVs have kitchens on some side and some of them have furniture on the other. And you know that kitchen and those cabinets have a lot more weight in it than the side that you sit on with a lightweight couch. So they have different weights on both sides. So every manufacturer typically buys a 6,000 or 7,000 pound axle with about a 3,500 pound leaf spring. We buy a 7,000 pound axle with a 4,000 pound leaf springs on both sides.
That's all standard.
That's 8,000 pounds of leaf spring capacity on a 7,000 pound axle. That's overbuilding your coach for you guys because it's better for you guys. We have no idea what you're putting inside your cabinets, what else you're putting inside there. Why not build it with the strongest foundation in the industry? And then we go additional step where we have the suspension system inside here. It's called the CRA 3000. More that are on a rally today. They have a 3-inch rubberized piece inside here, and a lot of manufacturers use stuff like this. So it softens your chucking and bucking inside here, but we go an additional step. We ask for grease points on all of your suspension because you can lube up your suspension, right? Now you're putting grease zerks inside there, so no squeaking going down the road, right? It increases the life of your suspension by about 40%. So make it better for the consumer out there. And then we add things like the suspension system house connected inside here. These things pop off quite a bit because when you have a heavy weight trailer in here and you really deflect those axles, start to turn sideways, they can pop off. Most manufacturers, when you guys look around the RV park, the dealerships, they're about a 1/4 inch thick. These are 3/4 of an inch thick. So we're sealing it up as strong as possible. The last thing we can do, because now we're benefiting your chassis all the way across, is put the biggest tires in the industry. So 95% of the fifth wheel manufacturers buy a G-rated tire, which is 14 layers of rubber, right? Now these are G-rated tires, so they're 14 layers of rubber also, but they hold 4,400 pound capacity. Everybody else buys them that has 4,090 pounds of capacity. Now it costs a little bit of money, not a ton, but obviously it adds up pretty fast inside here. But why not build it with the strongest capacity in the industry? When people are trying their RV on the outside, one of the biggest issues that they deal with over a period of time after the first year of warranty is tire issues. So part of that best customer ownership experience is building it with the strongest foundation in the industry. And that's what we're starting right here, just in these two compartments. Chassis, axles, tires, wheels, brakes. The brakes on here are 12 inches round by 2 inches thick. Most RVs, the brakes are 10 inches round by 1 inch thick. They have a better stopping capacity for you guys. So we're starting with the strongest foundation, and we're gonna build on it all the way.
Max did a great job explaining why I think we're best in class. But the glitz, the glam, the features, that's wonderful. But we've got to think about safety. We got to think about, okay, what happens when we're going 75 miles an hour down the road? So I hope everyone appreciates what we've done here. We're never going to skip here. We're going to always beef it up, take it up another notch. Great job, Max. That's it.
This is
Ben Pitt.
Ben Pitt. I know there's a celebrity sightings of Brad Pitt around here.
Yeah.
I said maybe Ben
Told you
Pitt.
we'd see a celebrity.
And you guys know
our
Ben's our plant manager. He runs all of these people, about 170 employees we have total here.
I'm the puppet master, right? Organizing all this chaos that we have on a day-to-day basis.
I'm sure there'll be some questions we might not be able to answer. And
Yeah,
we'll come
yeah.
back to that.
I'll be bouncing around. Ryan really wanted to get him started back there with his crew, so I'll hopefully catch you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
So guys, I'm gonna walk you guys a little bit through our cabinet shop. There's a couple of cool things I want to show you guys, and then we'll end up right back over here with some more chassis features. Make sure you watch your steps though, because we have a couple of floors here on the floor and stuff like that, subfloors. We're gonna adjust up on these here. Watch all this too. We try to be So our cabinet shop in here, we're building all of our bases, most of our countertops, almost of our counters in here. Countertops are built typically by other people, but basically just building cabinet shop inside here. So all of our cabinets are assembled here. We have slide out boxes. I'll show you guys on the other side, but just basically a woodworking facility inside here. But I want to drop you guys right through this little area where it's a little bit tight because I want to show you a couple of cool things about countertops. But I bring you guys in this area because the cabinet shop, they cut everything pre-deal. This is basically a science. To me, I could never work in a cabinet shop. I also could never do a Rubik's Cube, and that's what they're doing here. They're pre-drilling holes so nothing splinters up, pre-cutting everything inside here. But I wanted to bring you guys these countertops. You guys see our epoxy countertops inside here. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen that. Most people are using hard surface, granite, Corion's a brand name. I wanted to show you guys the lightness of this. You can hold this, don't drop it because you just bought it if you drop it. But it's a very, very light countertop. So even our huge kitchen bases inside there are very, very lightweight. And it's a really nice feature here, an epoxy countertop. So I always think, to me it's kind of important, people have never seen what an epoxy countertop actually does. In our toy hauler, it will actually be epoxy countertop on throughout the whole trailer. So even in our kitchen area, it'll be very lightweight for us, which is an advantage. So I think we're just going to jump right back over here, kind of where the floors are at, guys. So just follow us. So guys, in this area, I skipped a little bit of step, but I'll show you guys. I built our floors right back there. They're basically 4-inch wood truss floors inside there, insulation inside here, and then we crane them over. So they're not working on floors right now, but those cranes. So I don't know if you guys have ever been in a manufacturing facility. I know some of you guys have. Most of them, after a guy builds a floor, he blows a whistle. About 9 guys stop what they're supposed to do. They come over and they'll pick up a piece of the floor, and then they flex it. And they come over, and then they drop it on top of the floors. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It happens quite a bit. It happens on roofs, floors, and walls inside there. So we crane all of our floors over. So one guy puts all the hoist, cranes it over and sets it down. So it keeps your trailer perfectly square. We're not smashing any components. And then we go a few more steps, so we're starting to set cabinet set in. So we build our trailers from the inside out. It's a lot easier that way to do that. As Coley talked about a couple days ago with plant shortages or part shortages, it makes it tough sometimes when parts aren't in there when we're building it. So we build it from the inside out, and we're just a little bit farther down the process. Plumbing lines going inside here, some of our interior bathroom walls. But the nice thing is we build them in runs. We build a minimum of 5 units at a time. So we typically don't go to more than 10 at one time, because in the event we want to do what's called a running line change, because we're not a corporate company. We can do however we want. So if Coley knows and Ryan knows or Ab knows that something's better and we all agree upon it, we can make better. We don't have to build 100 of them and change it for the next 100. We can build 5 to 8, say, hey, this is better, maybe not better, whatever it may be, and adjust things a little bit faster for you guys. So they build those walls, and they bring them over here every single day. And this side's a little bit better than most. Yeah, this is the side I want you guys to see. We build what's called a bonded wall. So what that means is inside the wall there's polystyrene, which is aluminum studs, and there's basically aluminum studs and polystyrene, which is named for styrofoam in here. And then they bond the wall, and in the RV industry you can bond the wall 2 ways. You can either pinch roll it or you can vacuum bond it. And I don't care which way you do, they're both very good. Here at this company we pinch roll it, and let me tell you why. Let's say this is a wall jig right here, and let's say this was the wall that we were building over there. And for some reason, one of our guys is talking to his buddy, hey Ab, how's your weekend? And his job is to spray glue inside here, right? Well, he misses a little section of glue. Well, if you vacuum bond it, it presses it all the way down and smashes it right down. And it does a good job of holding it solid, because it's got glue everywhere else. However, when you go to different climates, extreme cold, extreme hot, humid, not humid, walls react different. And that one section of glue all of a sudden wants to pop out. That's what people call delamination out there. So what we do is we call pinch roll. And what happens is, just like the guy, same guy, if you're screwing up and somehow he missed a spot where there's glue, it would be okay. Because what happens is, that wall's built all assembled together and then it goes through a roller and it rolls it out. So it spreads the glue evenly inside there. The best analogy I could give you guys is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now let's face it, us guys, we take a gob of peanut butter, we jab it right on there, a gob of jelly, and then we try to smash it down and eat it as fast as possible, but it doesn't make it all the edges. But our wives go ahead and make love, they go build that peanut butter, smooth it to the edges, do that and spread it inside there, and that peanut butter's everywhere. And that's why we do this process inside here. After that, we start to route it out, but we do it different than everybody else. Everybody routes it out, but most people route out all the openings and then separate the parts because they're gonna take this part and go build a slide out wall for it or whatever maybe. We don't. We only route them out to about 90%. Number one, as we move that wall across and we crane it all the way around, there's no flex in it. There's no hole in the middle of it. It's held together one solid piece. Number two, we'll take this piece out and take it right over here and attach it to a slide out box and bring it right back so that these two pieces of fiberglass forever match. I'm sure you guys have walked by an RV before and went, that looks a little bit different. Well, what happens is the manufacturer takes that slide out piece, goes and builds the slide out for it, and it doesn't make it back in the same coach. So by doing this, this allows it to last minute, keeps it incredibly strong, and then we can take this piece, go over here and build a slide out box, and go right back in the same coach, so the tones never mismatch. It's better for you consumer. Anything you want to add here in the wall process?
You know, outstanding. I would add one thing, just because I think we have a good visual shot of it, is that we're not using Luan. We're using a material called Asdel, right? And Max was talking a little bit about delamination. You know, obviously, you never want to talk about water, but those horror stories are out there. You're virtually going to get no delamination because water doesn't adhere to Asdel. It's 50% lighter, and we're also using 2 layers of it, so a little bit of added insulation. That's a big advantage for us here at Alliance. So, other than that, yeah.
You guys probably hear about Asdel, and that's what you see here on the inside of this. I think it's like a dark gray type stuff.
Yep. Perfect.
So we're gonna shoot by this trailer right here, and then we're gonna walk down the production line. And as you see, we're assembling our walls in here. We're screwing them and bolting them down. We'll start through the production line. Now I just want to tell you guys something. If you hear a big old train horn, it sounds like a cruise ship's pulling up. Congratulations, you guys, we're taking you on a long cruise. No, I'm just kidding. So what that means is the line's about to move. So just be aware of it. We ask you either be in the front or the back of the line. They shouldn't move an RV without you being aware. We just want you to know, if you hear that big old 3 or 4 air horn, they're gonna eventually move the line. So that's what we're watching out for, okay guys? Another quick little thing that I'd point out is how clean our RV is. Now this is not incredibly clean, right? It's not perfect. But I don't know if you guys know, most manufacturers go and put old school material on top of the linoleum inside here and they tape it all down. That way it never gets damaged. And that's important. The problem is they build that trailer, they get as dirty as possible. At the very end, they blow it out or vacuum it out. And we don't. Every 3 or 4 product line moves, we vacuum out and blow it out. So you'll see them get a little bit dirtier, and then you'll see one incredibly clean, and that's because they hit the station where it cleans it out. But also makes our employees be responsible for their product inside here. Say, hey, you know what? I just can't cut other products with an X-Acto knife on top of this. I can't just drop my tool straight down real hard inside here. It makes them have ownership inside here. So you'll need, we don't put any protectant on here. So we basically are just making the guys be responsible for it. Yes, we do have occasional issues here and there, but it allows them to be responsible for it. And they do get cleaned out. They'll get cleaned out about 4 times throughout the production line. At the very end, go through another PDI process. So we should have less shake than anybody else has inside of the RV. So guys, inside here, now, I don't know if you guys know, our facility is obviously brand new. Well, most people don't realize this. The roof of our building here is about 18 feet taller than most manufacturing facilities. So why do we do it? Couple of things. Number one, it brings in natural light all the way around. Also better for air circulation for our employees and the heat inside here. But most importantly, our mezzanine here. Now, a lot of guys have mezzanines out here. The problem is they're building some parts inside there, and they build roofs in there. And let's face it, this is a 43 or 42 foot long roof. So some guys build roofs up inside there, and they get 8 or 10 guys, and they come straight out, and they drop it on top of your roof. Well, we don't do that. We build our roofs in sections, in 8-foot sections inside here. We build them all the way across. And by the way, even though it's 8-foot section, it's lightweight, you still crane them on. I'm not sure if you guys can kind of exactly see, but there's a crane that grabs those and carries and sets them on. So it's not pressing the walls out any direction. They're always square inside here. That's not a bunch of guys dropping and smashing components inside here. So we can totally square up our trailer and then we screw it all the way together to make it incredibly strong. As you have like a shoebox, right? Take that lid off a shoebox, it's a weak little shoebox, put that lid back on there, it's very strong. So that's what we're doing inside here. And we're training everything in here, state of the art. What you guys see here is some of our catwalks. So they lift up and down. Sometimes they get some really cool angles inside here when one side goes all the way up and the other side's still low. But basically it's for our employees to always be in different levels. So these guys who work up here, all their products are on the second tier. All the guys who work down here, their products are down here. So now we can have multi-layer inside here. Now, if you'll notice too, we start to install graphics. Because we do that, we don't do it all at the end. We do it as it's an assembly line. Certain components have graphics inside here. Now I don't see it just yet, but I'll point out to you guys. You guys ever seen red tape inside of an RV? You've seen the red tape, sometimes I have it. So that's called QC tape. And what happens if the QC is somebody walking around, and most manufacturers have 2 or 3 different QCs inside there, and they put red tape on it. So we have red tape also, but that's used at the end. We also have different color tape. So we have 3 or 4 different QC employees inside here, and they don't all use red tape. They're different colors. And what happens, trying to hold people accountable, right? Gets to the end and they say, oh, there's a scratch on the graphic, or there's a cut here, or something, whatever it may be. Well, the guy at the end is really easy to point fingers and say, hey, no, wasn't me. So the whole line takes it. So what happens is that we have inline QCs, you'll see different color tapes, blue, green. So when we see that thing, we may not be able to fix it right away, but we see a blue piece of tape there, and we know what the blemish is, we know it's not the guy at the end. Because he got on in, he goes, oh, it's not me, and maybe she or whoever it was would say, oh, it wasn't me. Well, no, we can go blue. It was before the first 3 or 4 sections of our line. It allows us to have a better QC process of where issues are happening at for us. So you won't see that from any other manufacturer. In 22 years, I've never seen anybody use everything but red tape. It allows us to QC our products better and figure out where our issues may or may not be coming from by using that. So you'll see different color tapes inside here.
Yep. And notice that Max said, I mean, we're talking about QC right now. Typically, historically, QC is done at the end, right? We're being proactive. Sometimes, you know, there's going to be stuff that gets covered up that you couldn't naturally find at the end of QC. So, yeah, being proactive in that process is very important and it's essential to our quality.
So this material right here, guys, is called TPO. Does anybody know what this is used for right here, where this goes? I had a long time staring at it too. I'm like, no, when I got here, what is this thing? This is the TPO, and what this is, the piece that goes right here on your hitch, all the way down. Now the old school ways, we used to use fiberglass quite a bit, right? And sometimes we would try to go and bend it, or we'd square it off and put a bunch of moldings there, which creates leaks because water comes all the way down inside here. So we use a TPO, where we go ahead and we take it, and we can radius it. As you go farther down, you'll see it's radiused all the way inside here, and then we can fully enclose this area. So there's no birds growing inside there, no water leaks. But again, less seals for you guys, better for the best customer ownership experience out there. We're gonna step down a little bit farther, because now we're getting into front caps. So guys, this fifth wheel is a little special. So this one, the customer asked for additional installation in this area. No, I'm just kidding. Every single unit gets this. So every single unit gets this. You guys start joking with you, huh? So we all get matted fiberglass inside here, same thing that goes up on your roof, and then you get a radiant foil technology, and we fully wrap it. Now, something that's pretty cool you guys are gonna see right here is our front cap installer. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. So typically what happens at my old plant, where we worked at, a different company, we'd have 4 guys at the bottom. You'd pick up that fiberglass front cap, and it has a little flex in it, right? It starts bending, they're holding it, and then there's 2 or 3 guys on top of the roof, and they set it up there, and then they jam it on, they take a rubber mallet, and they start pounding it different ways to get it to fit just right, and then they screw it down and seal it. Well, the advantage of a brand new facility is we're the only manufacturer that I know of. There might be one other company I might have heard that had it, somebody's talking about, where it grabs our front cap, one person, and they can articulate it, pick it all the way up, it can go any which way he wants, and he just sets it on there. So there's no pressure on that cap, so no spider cracks for you guys. There's no pressure on the trailer inside here. We're not damaging anything. He sets it on there, and the guys can go ahead and just screw it all the way around. On top of that roof, after we put that roof material on there, our roof trusses inside there, we use a 3/8" decking. So most of your floors are 5/8" of an inch, on toy haulers are 1 inch. We use a 3/8" decking. The reason why we do that is because we cove our roof, so it doesn't bird bath, so no water sits on top. But then we go additional steps and we add butyl tape, sealant all the way around every single piece. So that means all the sides, every single 4x8 sheet has a sealant. I've never seen it done in the industry. I heard of one company used to use masking tape. So basically we're stopping any seals inside there, and then we put a PVC roof on top of that. And I'll show you guys the PVC roof material just right here for you guys.
So Max was mentioning the PVC roof. A lot of big advantages here. First and foremost, we're looking at a 20-year warranty on this PVC roof. It's also very solar reflective. 80% more solar reflective is what I'm understanding. It's a white PVC roof as well, so you're going to keep a lot of that heat off. You're seeing them on a lot of huge buildings like your Costco's, your Walmarts, your Lowe's, your Home Depots. They can really take a beating when it pertains to the weather. I never want to use the word maintenance free, but virtually it is, right? But we do still encourage you to get up there a couple times a year, you know, check your seals, look for things like that. But PVC just seems to be a lot more durable. I think it says that in its warranty, you know, offering the longest warranty in the industry. And also the solar reflectivity, again, I want to reiterate those two things. They're very important. There's some hot places, right? And we want to get that heat off the roof. Max, anything on the PVC
Yeah, I want to add a couple
roof?
of things, guys.
Please.
So in the RV industry, there's typically 3 different roofs. There's TPO, which most people have heard of. That's the most common. And then there's a vinyl roof, which is not as common. And there's the PVC. So why do manufacturers offer 18 and 20 years and 12-year warranties? Because they know when they build this roof, it never has an issue. Because 99% of roof issues are customer created, which means it's built by the manufacturer fine. It goes to you guys and you're just trying to make it into the grocery store and you hit a tree or your campground, or you back into the eave of your house, right? And your brand new RV has a little cut up inside there, or even just a campfire, the embers get up there and burn a little hole inside there. So the last thing you want to do is have your RV have a hole inside of it. So you take it into the dealership and they tell you, hey, got to replace your roof, man. It's got a hole in it. You can't patch that stuff. You can't patch TPO. You can't patch vinyl inside there. I mean, you can, but it avoids their warranty inside there. So what they do, they go, oh, we'll redo your roof. 10, 15, 12,000 bucks out there. For a roof, you just got your RV, you're just packing into the eave of your house the first time. The reason why we use this is it costs more money, reflective and all that. It's repairable by the customer. It tells you in our manual that you can buy this PVC material, you can get PVC cement from your hardware store and seal it up inside there. I mean, for $100 or $200, even if the dealership do it $300, that's a way better repair. That's better for the customer than it's for us. Because they know this stuff never has issues with it. It comes on a big old roll from us. And then we go ahead and make sure it's all flat inside here and put it all down in here. Most of the issues are done by the customers. So again, part of that best customer ownership experience is trying to get you a roof that if for some reason you guys did do something, because 99% of the time it is you guys, it only costs you a couple $100. It's okay. Hey, I had a hole in my roof a couple of weeks ago, I found out.
Paul, if you can adjust the slides, you can fix a PVC roof.
What do I look for when I go to buy things?
You can just look for PVC roof material. RV super stores have it too, and any PVC glue. I don't recommend buying the purple PVC glue that you use typically in your house. It looks a little funny there. Yeah, you can get the white stuff or the clear stuff. It'll work for you a little bit better. So now you're gonna start seeing colored tape, different colored tape throughout it, right? We talked about that for the QC. Now cabinets, I'm not sure if you guys know, the RV industry loves to buy 90-pound ball bearing drawer guides. And they put that advertisement, ooh, this drawers have 90-pound ball bearing drawer guides. Everybody buys those things in the industry. The problem is, most of these drawers only hold about 10 pounds in there. I mean, I live in a house, right? And my house, we have a full, my wife has 2 junk drawers and they're overfilled and they fall out to the bottom. Well, it's real easy. Just put plywood on the bottom of it. It makes it hold 90 pounds inside here. I'm gonna show you guys something. Another little cool thing with it too is
silverware and
That stuff gets really heavy, and I don't think a piece of wood.
even your 4-inch ride bathroom drawer. Where I know some of you guys just put maybe the curling irons or whatever may be in there. I know someone like Ab puts those gold bars in there. They are fully reinforced inside here. So if any of you are storing your gold bars in there, it will hold it for you, I promise.
One thing I will add on just, relentless improvement. If you, we'll show you our core values, our family values here in a little bit, but we use our size to our advantage and how quickly we can address an issue. We're not going to sit here and say we're perfect. Things do happen. These are all human beings, right? We're building RVs at the end of the day, but we recognize whether it's feedback from an ally, whether it's something we see on the line, we identify that. If we know there's a better way of doing it, we can implement that a lot quicker than any other OEM out there. Again, using our size to our advantage is a big benefit. Prior employers, it takes 60 days to move an outlet. If we think this is a better move, we can get that done in 6 hours. So
Just whatever unit.
that's right. If it's an improvement,
running line change.
if it's going to make an improvement,
Some of you guys may have seen it, like some parts that are different on other RVs than others. Just a running line change for us to always improve product. We're gonna go down a little bit farther for you guys. Now we're getting to the most of the finished areas.
We spent days on identifying what our core values
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
You know,
that's good.
that is so important to
That's
any
really cool.
any company. You know, and I don't think that a lot of companies talk about that much, but it
Guys,
is
we're gonna-
it is everything to us.
Kind of
Do the
finish
right
up
thing.
right
We
here.
talk about all the
We'll take you
That's right,
outside.
yeah.
Simple, but
So,
true.
like a simple motto, do the right thing.
Good idea there, I love that idea.
Ooh, it's easier to get the furniture when you take
No
the back
tape
off.
on that one.
So guys, come over here.
tape?
So you guys ever seen what we call it in the RV industry the rat's nest? So if you've ever been like us, you walk by the service department and see every manufacturer makes it accessible inside there, but they put about 25 screws because they want you to have easy access to it. And we're very proud of what people call the rat's nest inside here because you've seen inside there, it's pretty rough on most manufacturers. So we just started this not too long ago where we made this access panel, just goes inside here where you just pull it out and remove it. And we do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, the first thing you see, your water pump. Right, one of the things that you guys typically will check one time when you have some issues out there, what it may be. Ooh, it's right here, easily accessible for you. Whether you guys know this or not, these blue and red lines are called Plumplex. And most manufacturers use Plumplex, however, they use it to their walls and their floors. They don't use it to components inside here. So they eventually take that Plumplex and they connect it to hoses, which run back inside here. Well, hoses don't have a 360-degree seal on it. Plumplexes do. So this eliminates water leaks for us. So even though if you had some water coming inside here and you couldn't figure it out, you could really easily access inside here and see what it is. By the way, our roofs have a raceway inside of it. Basically like a plumbing cap on top of your roof. In the event that you guys are wiring something up there, you can drop wires down that raceway and it comes down inside here. But easy access for the customer. That's part of the best customer ownership experience. If you're out camping and something happened, whatever it may be, I mean, the last thing you really want to do is pack up shop or spend an hour figuring out with the right tools. I mean, let's face it, RVs don't necessarily just use Phillips screwdrivers, right? They're a number 2 square bit inside there, which most of us never had until we bought an RV, right?
Everybody's Mike Ellis.
Yeah. No, it was,
Not everybody's Mike Ellis.
yeah, never like that. So what you do is you basically just move this panel and access it right inside there. Do most of you guys know that you guys have valves on every one of your plumbing fixtures? I mean, that's kind of crazy. We're in 2020. We can take rocket ships to outer space and bring them back now thanks to Tesla or whatever that solar space program is,
Elon Musk.
right? But we can't figure out how to stop water leaks. And it's funny because in our house, if your toilet leaked or your shower leaked, you wouldn't walk out to the main of your house and shut off the whole water to your house. You would just turn off the back of the toilet. So that's what we've done inside here. You can do that. As you guys know, there's even T-valves for your washer dryer connections inside here, right, for your customers. So the whole idea of this is the best customer ownership experience. Yes, things happen out there, batten strips fall off, we're always a room for improvement, but we are trying to do it from the ground up. Just the products, the way we assemble them, the way we manage our employees.
Absolutely. The goal is to keep
You can crack a
camping.
whip.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Or you can motivate them, right? We can motivate them. We do that by not covering the floors inside here, by holding them accountable with different color QC tape. I mean, if you worked at the beginning of the line, that's the best, right? Because you never get in trouble. Oh no, happened down there, happened down there, happened down there. Well, all of a sudden, guy walks by and there's blue tape in his area. He's like, oh man, I gotta get my stuff together, right? So ways to hold each other accountable inside here. We do not have employees that don't follow our values. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not. Everybody here, I've been doing this forever. My very first day here, I was over in the chassis department by myself, just walking around. I've been doing this for a long time, just seeing what we do different. Guy walks right up to me, just as filled with dirtiness as he could be, and he said, "Are you Max?" I said, "Yeah, how you doing? I'm Max." And he shakes his hand and goes, "Hey, I used to work with you over at Keystone. Ever met you before?" "Yeah, no. I heard you worked there for 10 years. I worked in the fusion plant." "I sold fusion for 10 years. Hey, nice to meet you. They say you're great." Like, that was kind of cool. I mean, the guys up there talked about me down to the guys down here. About 2 seconds later, guy comes over. "Are you Max?" Talk to me. I mean, just everybody everybody knows who everybody does. Our employees have been here. I've been doing this for 30 years. Some of these guys. It's a part of an experience in here. You want to feel good about what you're doing. We want to follow these things. All these people are helping you. You guys have dealt with Curtis. You dealt with Bill Martin. Customer service is a thankless job. Anybody else out there doing it like that? Right. I mean, our mottos are all the way around, from how we build our trailers from the ground up to this, what we have on our sidewall right here. I'm not sure if you guys have seen what we have hung here. Part of, you know, Relentless Improvement. That's called running line changes. Yeah, it sucks. Some of you may not have got the largest grab handle and not enough shelves inside your pantry. We're improving it. We're debating to our relationships. Of course, our customers, but our dealers also. People haven't done this in the last 20 years. Customer obsessed. Yeah, it costs way more money on the front end. how good is it for us? How much marketing? Social media is the marketing way. We know this stuff. So we try to do it as a team effort here, and most importantly, do the right thing. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. Probably every manufacturer can say do the right thing. Do they do it? No, they tell you they're going to say do it on a motto, but they don't follow it up. They don't back it up. So we are. Bill, Martin, Curtis are there for you guys. They're constantly on social media. That's the easiest way to get them. I see these guys put their cell phone numbers on social media. I'm like, man, you guys are crazy. It's your cell phone number. Hope you have 2 cell phones. They don't. I call them too. But that's part of our customer ownership experience here. That's part of being the Alliance family. Does anybody have any questions of something they maybe wanted to see or didn't get questions answered?
I want to point out just a couple quick, just off of what you're saying, Max. You're so spot on, and it truly is the foundation of what we have here. I don't know if we were paying attention, but on the front of a lot of our pin boxes, for the units that are retail sold, well, actually, to talk about that, that production vibe, we're putting the family name, right? So maybe it's the Wolf family, and everybody going down this line is signing that. I think Bill Martin said it best when he said, we just want these guys to know they're not just building an RV, they're building somebody's dream,
The celebrity sighting right there.
Uh-oh.
Celebrity sighting.
And mine is framed.
You have it? That's great. Well, we appreciate it. I hope that meant something to you, because it means a lot to us that we had the opportunity to earn your business and do that. Again, it's just taking it the extra mile there. One thing I want to talk about, I don't know if we're going to talk about it in a unit, but the ACs, right?
Oh, I did it. No, go ahead.
Do you mind if I just kind of chat on that real quick? So you've got 3 standard 13.5 air conditioners on every Paradigm fifth wheel, right? So we're putting 41,500 BTUs in your coach. We do ours a unique way, right? Because in your living room, in your kitchen area, those 2 ACs are non-ducted. They're direct dump ACs. Now the third AC, or the front AC in your bedroom, does have a small duct run to the bathroom. We obviously want to cool that area down. But you can't argue the fact that if you do have a ducted system in your RV, you are losing 30 or 40% of your cold air in the hottest part of the coach. That's the attic, right? You just can't argue that. So it is a lot more efficient to dump all that cold air right into the coach. We want to be the coolest coach in town. I mean, no point intended, right? But that's how we have accomplished it. And the problem early on, the one con that everybody asked about was the noise, right? If you have a direct dump AC, it's typically running 70, 75 decibels. It's noisy. So we worked with some great companies. We were able to eliminate that issue. On high, we're running at 57 decibels, right? 57 decibels. 60 decibels is the equivalent to a normal conversation or a Frigidaire dishwasher. So extremely quiet, but extremely efficient. They're all independently controlled, and they're only pulling 10.4 amps each, right? So we can run all 3, no problem, on 50 amp, 2 on 30, obviously. There's some, again, we talked about some hot areas. It's gonna really make that full-time experience a lot easier. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
I don't talk about ACs much.
Question on AC.
Please.
So we've got the 370.
Yep.
Love the whole concept, right?
Yeah.
One thing, the half bath. If you keep the door closed, there's
Get a little warm in there.
there's no AC vent. I wonder if it'd be an easy change.
I don't stand there.
Ducted system.
Okay.
And go through the bedroom half bath wall and just dump a.
I appreciate that feedback. Certainly, that's something we need to talk to the team about. We did
Get back,
install
we
a
wanna get your
fantastic
guest
fan
out of
there.
there. You spend too much time in there. It's hot. Get out. Use your own restroom. Where'd you guys come from? Why are you using mine? That's very good. I never.
Great feedback. But hey, guys, remember what I said? This is how we continuously improve.
Yeah.
So thank you for this feedback. I mean, it's critical to our success and obviously your experience. So it means a lot, and we encourage you to. It does have a nice, fantastic fan in there.
But I mean, if you've got company and you think about, if you've got company in there and you've got, a female and they're in there trying to do their hair and makeup and stuff like that, then, they could be in there for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, then.
I don't understand.
You worked that hard on your
I don't understand.
Some people,
We got double
But,
sink.
they're staying.
Oh, you have your sink and my sink. Where am I supposed to go?
As you can tell, it takes him an hour to do his hair.
Well, it
and
looks
stuff.
phenomenal.
So
It looks great.
he stays in there for an hour.
So how did you entice some of these guys that have 30 years experience someplace else to move over to your company?
It's easier than you think, and it's really about who you want to work with. So I don't know everybody here on this team, but I did know some people on the teams, and I've had many managers and bosses, and you know when you love that person, like, I love that dude, I see him all the time, he's just a good person, and you can get them on your team. That's how we're getting them, basically. Yeah, they do, and a lot of times people will go for more money, and I think, you know, what you get with an experienced veteran that you don't get with a non-experienced veteran is a quality of life. Yeah, you can make $1 or $2 more over there, whatever it may be, but it's not the quality of life they're wearing. As you become more experienced in life, you're like, you know what? This guy helps me. If I have a family issue, I can take the day off. You know, we motivate different. You know, every place says they crack the whip. Somebody asked Ben a couple of days, so you're the guy who cracks the whip, and he's like, well, we do it a little different here. We don't crack that whip. We try to help motivate them. We have the team leaders bring them along. It's tough to do, I promise you. And when somebody fakes it to make it here, they either turn who they were to be part of us, or they don't last.
I think our motto definitely attracts passionate people too. Like Max said, you gotta really enjoy what you're doing. And I think if you do enjoy what you're doing in this industry, we are so fortunate. We're selling fun. We get to build fun. I mean, we really are. People are envious of us, and you know, and we are lucky for that. All of us, Max, Jeremiah, Coley, Ryan, Bill, Curtis, myself, we love this camping industry. We love having the conversations, seeing you guys at shows. We enjoy it. Some guys just, I think they do it for different reasons. But if you're not passionate, you're not excited about it, if you're not enthusiastic, I don't think you're going to succeed in it. So if you don't have that, I don't think you're going to be at Alliance RV.
I would agree.
That's fair to say.
Yeah, they want to be part of a good team that they like, and it's, you know, once you build that strong foundation, because, you know, if you don't build a strong foundation, it will crumble, just kind of like your chassis and stuff. So we built that foundation of employees too, and it just keeps growing and growing.
Absolutely.
And you wouldn't believe the amount of people who call that were like, hey, guess who just called? Like, never thought this one was going to happen. And he's really
We're on a
interested.
rocket ship here. We're just glad you guys are a part of it.
It's
Things
pretty
are
cool
awesome.
to be part of it. So
At the end of the day, people want to be proud of what they
correct.
Judy, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
do. If you're producing a good product, and they've come from somewhere that's not.
We want you to brag about this. We want you to be proud of this too. So absolutely.
Do you plan on building a service center?
We do.
On the campus at some point?
We do. You know, I couldn't. Absolutely. I mean,
So we currently do that now too. We don't have a separate service facility, but like in our right here in our PDI bay is where we do bring them in, and we do have customers that come back here that if they're local, we could do stuff for them. If the job was too big for maybe the dealership didn't have confidence or whatever it may be, we can absolutely do it. I know there was a unit here. I don't know what it was getting for the last couple of days. Probably still over here. Last time I was here, there was one too. So we do have that.
and every facility will have a PDI facility like you've seen here. But no, a dedicated service facility is definitely in the future plans. I'd probably let Bill answer that. That's gonna be his baby. He is just a rock star when it pertains to service. Him and Curtis, aren't they?
Just call Curtis, go park beside his house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he will. He'll let you. He will. He'll let you.
You know, and kidding aside, I know I've heard, you know, talks about, you know, we've got so much property out there. Maybe it's a small little campground area, right? When you guys do come visit us, maybe we got full hookups and 50 amp service to make it a little more comfortable for you guys. I don't know when that is. Is it year 2? Is it year 3? But it's definitely a good idea. Using our size to our advantage, right? And that's why we don't want to be the biggest. We want to be the best. We want to be able to continue this, you know, the way we work with you guys on a day-to-day basis. When you get too big, I mean no disrespect to any other OEM, it's just you get that big, it's hard to do. So we got to remember that. We got to stay disciplined and remember what's made us great. Please.
So, what have you done with all your posts for that flexing?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Frame flexing? Okay, I'll tell you something that we do different.
Yes.
Is, so back there where we set our sidewalls and roofs, there's a yellow, we call it tripod in here, to preload the unit. So we load it like it's in your truck before we set our sidewalls and roofs on. So it's set to like it's gonna be in your truck like going down the road. We put a stress crack underneath our slide outs. So if there is a flex in here, it has somewhere to go.
You've taken that weight off.
So yeah, we preload the unit so it's ready to go when we set our structure of the unit, just like it is on your truck.
Good to know.
Any other questions, guys?
What's the no TV channels?
Apparently, they couldn't get TV. The antenna did not operate.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're doing that because we had a very earlier model, and all the cable was just, it was pretty messed up. Some of the ends would pop off. And
Yeah,
I know they addressed that.
Yeah, we've adjusted. We got to a
Yeah.
crimp-on style versus a
Oh,
push-on
cool.
style. Yeah,
Nice.
from your guys'
Yeah.
feedback from Facebook.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
So our team,
Again.
from everybody on the production line, they follow Facebook pretty religiously. During punch-in
Yeah.
time in the morning, they're talking about, hey, did you see this last night? Did
Oh,
you see
right.
this last
Isn't that
night?
great?
So
That's great to know.
They're excited
So,
about it.
so on
Really
our
good to know.
Relentless Improvement, our team has
Yeah.
bought into it. We improve daily. It doesn't take 6 signatures in 2 weeks to get a screw added somewhere.
Yeah. I like that they kind
Ben-
of feel responsible for it as well, and they feel
Ben brings up a great point. It's not just Curtis, Bill, Foley, Ryan, Ben, myself.
Yeah.
We got everybody's eyes on what you're saying and what you're giving us. That's pretty cool. That's powerful. Everyone cares.
Wow,
It really
that's
is.
really awesome.
Everybody's bought into the Alliance team. We want to build the best we can for our customers, and it was nice seeing you guys out, and so our team out with you guys last night. They enjoyed it. They were talking all about it today, and we're hoping to get a couple more out there today, just to kind of help with everything and get everything buttoned up for you guys. And
You want to do a little quick thing?
I would love
we're gonna
to.
do so how'd you like the plant tour? Is this the most
It was amazing. This place
experience?
is absolutely incredible. These guys are real, they're legit, and everybody loves working here.
They do.
You're
You
walking
can tell.
around, they're smiling,
Oh my gosh.
they're laughing, they're shaking your hand. It's awesome.
Yeah, I noticed that too. There's not only grumpy faces and
There's
people that are
no
like
people, you walk
throwing
around, people are
hammers.
happy. I know, it's incredible. That doesn't happen
And we
everywhere.
creep up on them. It's not like we're like, especially to see the
No.
camera, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." No, it's
It's a legit wonderful experience, and I
It really
recommend
is.
it to anybody who's interested in RVs.
Yes.
This is the way it should be done.
yeah. Go Alliance.
Do it.
Foley, we got another question for you.
We got a good question for you. All right. That we wanted to know.
You wanted to know. Why did you come over? Why was that first?
Well, that was, if you think about the fifth wheel buyer, they are on their second, third, potentially fourth RV. And so we felt like if we could be successful there, taking care of that really experienced buyer, that we could definitely work our way down into trailers and to other price points and be successful. So we wanted to take care of those customers that are really picky, I should say. Maybe that's the wrong adjective, but customers that really knew what they wanted, and if we could do that well, we could take care of our customers. So that was the reason. Yeah. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad I asked because I was
The
really
other thing
curious.
I'd add to that too is usually when you're running higher end fifth wheels, it's usually a lower volume segment, so it allows us to take our time to make sure we're really kind of watching the quality and really and establishing ourselves as a quality manufacturer. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Even more of a world of hurt right now with travel trailers because those are just like,
they are.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time too in the trailers, it's almost I don't want to say it's almost kind of commodity based. It's almost like what's your price. Whereas here you can build a story, tell a story more so, and you can put unique features in there that can separate you versus some of those other trailers. It's not the case.
build up the brand.
Fantastic.
Sign this real quick for one of our guests.
Oh, sign it.
I'll sign it. Right over the top of it.
There is
Line
our
his
friend.
name out.
That's so
That'd be great.
There's that. If you want to put it against the wall, wherever you please.
That is so cool.
All right, guys.
Just got done with the plant tour.
If y'all are ever in Indiana, Elkhart area, and you want to do a tour, you walk in these doors, and these guys are going to take care of you. It doesn't matter what time it is, what day it is, they will take you on a plant tour. And if you know anything about RVs, you'll be blown away at the production line, at the quality. I mean,
Just their commitment to like just getting it right.
Yeah.
And to like starting from, they build them from the inside out.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Man, I don't know why these things aren't $180,000.
Right?
The way that these things are put together and the way that the care and the amount of attention to detail, like, it's insane. And man, I'm just blown away. Like, we're gonna show a little bit of this video to you guys, and I hope this comes across. We weren't able to like record the entire thing. One, because Cinnamon needs more storage
My
on her
phone
phone.
ran out of space, which is dumb because I have 256 gigs.
Yeah.
Shows you how much I video.
Yeah.
And how little I clean out my phone.
But if you get to Indiana and you can come here, come to this tour. This is building number 2. They do have the first building. As soon as you come to the drive, this area, there's the first building over here, and they have a new building coming in that'll be up and ready to go by February of 2021. But man,
we're very proud to be Alliance owners.
we really are.
Even more so now that we've seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very
Loved
impressed.
it.